Half the time, you're not even turned on. You're just bored, lonely, or dehydrated. You're like a phone at 2% battery, grabbing any charger you can find. You might think you need to join a monastery to fix this, but it's actually easier than that. I've got three solutions and a holy grail that'll flip the game in your favor. Here's the first solution: limit your triggers. You're watching a reel, a music video, or just vibing to a song, and boom, you're suddenly staring at something that belongs in the hub. And out of nowhere, you realize your hands are in your pants. You didn't go looking for it, it found you. Let's face it, the internet's seductive like that. It can take a chocolate ad and turn it into soft corn in 4K. Somehow I went from, Kit Kat to why is she licking the wrapper like that? You're not randomly thirsty for no reason. You're basically walking through a minefield of temptations twerking in your face. Crop tops, string bottoms, and influencers who forgot half their outfit, all proudly sponsored by.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Kidding, we're not sponsored. Yeah. But yeah, it's not your fault. The internet's become one giant thirst trap. You can't just delete every app and move to the mountains. This isn't an anime arc. You've got bills and Wi Fi addictions. It's not realistic. Just like thinking your crush will notice you just because you liked her story. Personally, I make content full time. I can't just delete every app. I need to know what's happening on Twitter, Instagram, and if AI stole my job last night. So I go on social media, two scrolls in, and suddenly I'm staring at a model presenting enough cake to feed a wedding. Sometimes with whipped cream and her cherries. Like it's impossible. You can't dodge them all and have a normal life. So the question is, how do you limit the triggers? See, we can't control the internet, but you can control how long it messes with your brain. Figure out what turns you on and try to limit it. We don't have to let the cake get shoved in your face for 5 hours a day. You can reduce it to only 20 minutes. You can simply set a 20 or 30-minute time limit on the social apps that trigger you. You don't have to leave it to your willpower. Your phone probably already lets you do that. And if it doesn't, there's an app for that too. For example, App Block works on both Android and iPhone. Now, you aren't deleting everything. You're just closing the window and leaving it open, only a little, for nudes. I mean, news. But let's face the facts. Even with timers and tighter control, sometimes it might not be enough. Just with that tiny crack in the window, lust can hijack your brain. And the next thing you know, you're reaching the peak of your me time. Since there is still a little window, there'll be times when lust starts taking over your mind. So the next question is, what do you do next? The next step is delayed gratification. Instead of trying to delete your desire, you just delay it by not feeding it right now. See, lust is fast, instant, and it can make you feel good in minutes. For me, that's about 27 seconds. It clouds your mind and makes you go, oops, I did it again. I play with my junk. 'Cause baby, I'm not that innocent. That's what makes it so addictive. Not the song, but your brain gets used to the instant hits of dopamine. Of course, you might say, why not go cold turkey? Why not just beat it with my willpower? You absolutely can. You might even feel good and noble for a while about it, until reality hits you, like losing your job, or your girlfriend leaving you for her new job to dig for some gold. This is where your willpower becomes weak in tough times, and you might want to feel a little better, a little escape. And boom, you're back to square one with extra guilt and a self loathing shower. So, here's the real question you're probably thinking: how does delaying it actually even help? Because you're delaying it, but you're still giving in after all. Isn't that the same? No. Here's how it's different. When you are delaying the release, you're not trying to kill your lust. Instead, you're trying to disobey it, little by little. When you don't give in to your lust immediately, your brain panics for a moment, craving its daily dose of dopamine. It starts looking for comfort and keeps on whispering, we've done this before. Click, click, click. Release. So by delaying it, you are slowly teaching your brain that nothing explodes if you wait. That'll give you a little more control over your brain. Now that raises another question though. How long do you pause? In a perfect world, forever. But then you'd never get laid. Jokes aside, you can try delaying it for a month. Now that might be too long, so go weekly. That still might be too hard, so go for every other day. If it's still too hard, it's alright, bro, because everybody is at a different stage of progress. Give it at least an hour. Just delaying it, even for a bit, allows you to break your self sabotaging pleasure pattern. Then you can gradually try to delay it more and more. The minutes can become hours, the hours can become days, and days become weeks. And weeks become, wait, how long has it been? Soon you'll start to see the magic. Your cravings shrink, and you're not as desperate to rub one off anymore. You stop jumping like a dog every time the dopamine bell rings. Eventually, delaying becomes a habit. But here's the catch. Even if you're doing better, even if you've cut down, your brain still wants it. Maybe not every day, but the craving, it's lurking, like your gym membership email reminders. And yeah, you can fall off the wagon, because unlike the thick thighs and the perky prize on infinite scroll, your willpower isn't infinite. So what do you do when you do slip up? Simple. Well, don't lie there like a defeated anime protagonist saying, "Forgive me, sensei, for beating it in the moment of heat." Instead, you can apply a self rule by channeling your inner Mike guy. Create a visible, small, real world consequence. Text a trusted friend. I sinned. Cancel my Netflix night. Skip your dessert. Clean your bathroom. Yes, even behind the toilet. Pen a letter to a future you. Dearest sir, I regret to inform you that the past me has yeeted our dignity into the abyss. My apologies, old chap. Whatever stings just a little. Stings just enough to snap you awake, not spiral you into a pit of guilt and self hate. Because guilt is like that one flaky friend you got. It kicks you when you're down, but it's never around when you're trying to make it. It just doesn't stick with you. But that skipped dessert and a missed night out with your friends, those stick. So the next time you let yourself go for 4 seconds of squishy dopamine, you'll start thinking, damn, I don't want to miss that Netflix on my day off. Now you gotta be careful because you'll be tempted to go hardcore. Because hey, the harsher the punishment, the faster the results, right? No, it isn't. If your punishment is too much, your body and brain will reject it. You'll do it once, maybe even twice, but then you'll start avoiding it. You'll lie to yourself, dodge the consequence, or worse, ditch the whole system. Because it stops feeling like accountability and starts feeling like self hate. So the fix is to just keep it simple and keep it small. You're not aiming to hurt, aim to interrupt the pattern. Blog your Instagram for a few days instead of considering chemical castration. Or if you want to be brave, let someone you trust pick the consequence if you're too lenient or too extreme with yourself. And above all, be honest. If you slip, own it. Because when your actions have a visible cost, even a minor one, your brain starts paying attention. And eventually it learns, not out of fear, but out of pattern recognition. Now I'm going to give you the holy grail that I've been saving for the end. But so you can fully understand it, we need to look at what lust actually really is. Lust isn't the devil, whispering dirty thoughts in your ear. It's just biology doing its job. A natural, hardwired urge to let you know you got babies to make. If your ancestors didn't feel lust, you wouldn't even be here with that nose on your face. So you can stop treating lust like a monster you need to slay. Now, you might be thinking, well, if it's not that bad, why not just give in and enjoy it? Because it's dangerous, mentally. Whenever you give in to lust and tickle your pickle, your brain gets drunk on a cocktail of dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and prolactin, aka the feel good crew. They're all perfectly healthy if you get that high in moderation. But if you just release on repeat, you'll nuke your brain's reward system. Suddenly, your everyday joys don't hit the same. The state of pleasure to your brain starts feeling like your normal state, and your actual normal life starts feeling miserable. You can't focus or feel motivated, and you'll double down on getting more pleasure only to end up in a cycle of pleasure, emptiness, and misery. So, after controlling your lust, if by chance you do fall back into those old days, the 3 solutions I gave you will help you out. But how can you make sure you don't actually fall back at all? So, this is the holy grail. And it's actually easy. You just need to see lust as what it really is: creative energy. You heard me right. Lust is creation energy. Think about it. It actually gives you the ability to make a whole another human being. You can't get any more creative than that. So, in a way, lust is just a prompt. The true purpose is creation. Your pleasure and everything else it brings is just a side effect. And it's very potent. Trying to suppress that energy is like shaking a soda bottle. in praying it won't explode. It might hold for a while, but unless you learn to redirect it, that energy sits there, stuck, and eventually bubbles. Suppressing it is not the answer, because if it doesn't have an outlet, you end up exploding in some way or another. It's just excess energy. It's just like having too much electricity that isn't being used. Now, the good thing is you can easily direct that energy. You just need to start spending it to create. Just write something, draw, dance, sing, code. Grab the guitar you bought to pick up that chick you've been crushing on. Start that YouTube channel you wanted to do a long time ago. Rhyme it with the word journey. Use stick figures for the video if you have to. Because it's better to not let that creative energy release into a sock that you're going to wear next week. By the way, I'm looking for more subscribers so I can release more videos.